Last year, maybe we're only 50 people, but now quite a lot. Why? Yeah, we try to create jobs. We need to create jobs.
Cheap labor.
Yes.
Cheap labor. 48 rand.
Yes.
If you want using cheap labor,
It's cheap labor.
okay, you can leave.
That means the money is not gonna go up.
Yeah.
That's what he says.
The one thing about African disunity is that when we feel like, oh, we don't agree to certain groups of Africans, we become hateful. We don't use our logic anymore. We don't think anymore. Because South Africa are going through this turmoil of Dulula. Many people think that, oh, any judgment that comes to them is right. We want to support any oppressor coming at them. Funny enough, the same thing would reflect back to you. Every country has a minimum wages. And if the job that you are working should be higher than that minimum wages, but it's below, then that is slave trade. And I've talked about this before about slave trade and the contract you sign yourself into. People should read, educate yourself, so you don't sign a contract that keep you in a job forever and you can be sued for it. Seeing this video, I went to the comments. There was a lot of negative comments about, oh, South Africans deserve this and all of this bullshit. But the one comment that struck me the most is one comment that said that, oh, Africans cannot be used for job, cannot be hired for job that need logic or sense. They are only hired for simple job. So disturbing. And it comes to make me think about myself. If we are fighting against each other, hating each other, instead of we fighting against South Africa for this, why don't we educate them? Why don't you speak positively rather than throwing hatred? In that way, we all can grow together. But see what someone else say about African, a whole continent, saying that we are all dull and stupid. That actually struck me. And I'm seeing a lot of comments about other Africans saying, oh, South Africans deserve this. Funny enough, the people recording this video, they are not South Africans. If you could hear from their accent, they look more Zimbabwean. But this is what I'm talking about, slave trade. I believe I talked about this before, about the contract you sign. If you don't understand it, go and give it to a lawyer. And they will read your contract out for you. And we have to take pride of ourselves and stand for people who are there to oppress us. Whether they have foreign investors, they can't make us work like a slave in your own country, in our own continent. Because you can't go overseas and work like a slave and come back home and work like a slave. It's not possible. If the minimum wage, if it's below the minimum wages in the country, then I believe they have to report to the right force so they could look about the labor force. They could look about that company and see what that company is doing to the workers. And this is also why some South Africans are fighting for these illegal immigrants. Because most illegal immigrants, because they don't have option, they will take those options to work for bare minimum. Because at the end of the day, they are illegal. So the company will take advantage of them. And with that, it will cause rises of unemployment in the country. Because, well, if I'm illegal, I don't have papers, well, I need anything to survive. So let us speak the truth and speak facts and not deceiving ourselves. If you're in a country, get your paper right. Africa is Africa. Just like you having your brothers and sisters. They are your brothers, but their home is their home. And when you go to their home, you should respect and follow their protocols. So if we're in South Africa, if we're in Zimbabwe, we should respect and follow the protocols of each country. Every country has its own protocols. Respect and abide to those laws. So we all can be productive. And then we start speaking to our own leaders so that our country can be very beneficiary, so that it will be all equally good and prosperous. Let's stay educated. Keep safe out there. Peace.